What's happening? Alright guys, today's an exciting day because the sim rig has more upgrades to do, and I'm excited. These should make it way more fun. Let me show you what the current sim rig looks like. Yes, hello Cora. We have the CSL Elite wheelbase with the Porsche wheel, and we've got the Thrustmaster sequential shifter and e-brake with CSL Elite pedals. And what we have today is some great upgrades. Here's the upgrades we have, if Cora could make it out of the way. We've got Club Sport pedals, which are inverted, and Club Sport shifter. So now I can finally have a clutch and a shifter, and I can finally start driving rally cars again, and I can turn my Thrustmaster shifter into like a dedicated e-brake, because this can do sequential and H-pattern. With these Club Sport pedals, we have a load cell brake with a dampener, and on the clutch we have a cam system that makes it feel a lot more like a clutch. And I actually really like this setup of the two inverted with the throttle on the floor, because that's exactly how our 370Z is set up, and I'd love to use this to be exactly like that to practice and get better at driving. But first we need to mount up the pedals, and then I need to figure out a whole mounting solution here, because what we had before is I just did some like C-clamps or whatever, U-clamps onto the bars, and then with a plate that's bolted into the side. But I think we're gonna have to do something different this time, and we'll see how it goes. But first, let's take off this stuff. I've actually already taken off this, so there we go. No pedals. But let's take off this shifter and get at it. Okay, so first we took off the old pedals. I think I can still use this same cable for the pedals. Yeah, so the pedals underneath have the interface here. I could do USB, but I can just go directly into the wheelbase too. So I can use the same cable. Thank you, Cora. And then what we're gonna do is set this up here, and there's actually feet on each side. And I'll probably try to zip tie it down here on the front on each side, and then we need to take off this pedal plate and then get to the mounting screws under, or the mounting holes under there, which we'll probably just zip tie in again. Because right now, Playseat challenge is what I have. I did buy these pedals used and the shifter from a sim racing shop. And so they do have some wear and tear. They've got some little scuffs, but I think I got a decent deal on them. And they should work out really well. Just cleaning everything as I take it off. So we'll just put in big fat zip ties and crank it down here on the front, and then big fat zip ties and crank it down there on the back. Luckily, I have zip ties. There we go. Got the pedals mounted. We'll trim up our zip ties, put the pedal plate back on, and then the pedals will be mounted. Well, there's the easy part. Now let's get on to the harder part. So we've got the old mount I need that I made. So what I need to do is we're going to pull off this, kind of look at where this can go, and then start looking at options. Because I want the shifter here, and then we're going to have the e-brake out here. But I still need to be able to get to the side here to actually turn it from sequential to 8-pattern mode. And probably try to clean this up so it's not so visible. Alright, so let's take this off. Okay, so I went and checked in the Z, and where my shifter sits is like here and then over about the palm's width. So it's like right about here, almost level. So that means I need to mount this right about here. And then for the e-brake, not sure what to do with the e-brake yet, but this needs to mount here. And what I think I'm going to do is make a plate down here and then with another angle. I guess it's not too bad if I... Yeah, I want it lower though. Alright, I'm going to think about this. So we have some materials here. And I think this is going to be our main thing. So what I'm going to do is we're going to mount this as far forwards as we feel comfortable. And then we'll look at mounting this at a bit of an angle. Maybe not too much. Like that. Might be able to push this. Yeah, we'll probably push this forward till we can mount. And then we'll mount everything on the bottom. And then as far as having it so it won't flop, maybe what I'll do is we'll mount it right here. And I'll make a little plate, like even something like this, with some brackets to do that. But the first thing first is to make a template of this guy. So we're just gonna plop it on here, grab a pencil, and draw a bracket. I'll cut it out and then we'll get the holes. We'll figure out the hole spacing underneath with this. I'll show you in a second. Alright, so I made a template for the shifter and the e-brake, and then I've just traced out some holes. I'm a little bit worried about how close those are to those other holes, but that should give us plenty of space to then come in here somewhere once we have that, and then figure out where we want the e-brake. So I'm gonna punch these holes and drill them out. There's not a lot of play. I might have to drill those out a little bit to give it a little bit of play, and then we can clamp it down. Oh wow. Dang, this drill bit just walked so far off of my hole. Holy crap. Crap. Man, this thing sucks. Alright, well, that one walked so bad. I can see where, like, I drilled down and then it moved and then drilled through. So, that sucks. But let's see if the other ones decently line up. Well, I wonder if I can get this drilled out. Probably not. We don't need it to be perfect, we just need it to line up enough to put all the screws in. That might be doable. Let's try this. Okay, this should now fit. So now we just need to figure out this guy. Maybe we'll do, because I don't want to like angle it too much. Still want it like a rip back, but I also don't want that to hit, and I want enough space in here. So I have some of this aluminum. I'm hoping, maybe not. I was hoping I could bend this to make little brackets to hold everything together, but I'm a little worried. I guess I can check this real quick. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure this is aluminum. But this is, well, I guess I have this metal down here, which I could just cut some angle. But this would be pretty ugly. Just having a huge thing of angle like that. But it could work. And it's already 90 degrees. So yeah, I think I'm just going to cut this. So now that we kind of have this, I'm going to go back inside and look at the measurements. So I have my template. I went in and I looked at it, and I think I know the height I want to do. So now with my template, I kind of have what angle I want the e-brake at. So I'm just going to mark my holes. Oh. And these holes will allow me to move it forward a little bit if I want to. And I might drill them with a smaller drill bit, so that way they don't walk first, because this drill bit I think is a little dull, and that's why it walked so bad. Yeah, so drilling it out with a smaller one first, definitely the way to go. Yeah, so I think what I'm gonna do is right here we have that existing plate. So I'm gonna cut some of this like that, so then I can drill some holes on each side and bolt it together. And then for this guy, what I might do is come in here and bend this so I can put a bolt and then put in another bolt to keep it from flexing in and out. I think that would work pretty good. Alright, well, let's try to drill a hole on that. That seems about the right distance. Say that is mighty fine. Alright, I'm gonna go take these inside and see how they fit. If I like it, we'll clean it up, paint it, start trying to mount it up. Alright, we'll take this inside, drill out the couple holes, make this mark, and go from there. It's getting late. So We were really busy yesterday, ran out of time the day before that, but we have made some progress. So got the brackets all cleaned up and painted. Those are looking pretty nice. And then this plate is pretty much done, and all we need to do is take this plate and actually trim it so that it'd be nice and flush. And then I got a bunch of hardware, so that way everything is the same and it's all Allen keys with all washers. So we just need to cut that and then assemble it together. And the race is tonight, so we gotta do this fast. These two holes are for, we've got some little slidey boys right here to mount to the side. I know at least I was able to get one in earlier, but if I can get two, then great. So I got two holes there. I think I'm just gonna chop this off. It's hard because I know I want to chop this one off, but this one, like, maybe I could put a button on there or something later on, but maybe I'll just kind of come up, make a little hump, and then chop off all of that. I wish I had one of those things so I could draw really nice, pretty lines for this kind of stuff, but because I want to leave some meat around here, so maybe we'll just chop it off a bit like that, so that way we have some more meat. So let's set up the grinder. We're gonna do the bandsaw and chop this off. So we've got 4 for the shifter, 4 for the e-brake, and with washers so that we can clamp them really hard without worrying about hurting this plastic or PVC or whatever it is. Then we got 4 for the angle bracket right here, 2 on each side, with washers on the non-metal side. And then we've got 2 for the bracket coming in, and then we have 1 for going into the e-brake on the top bracket right here. Some washers. I guess I just bought some extra washers. So let's get to this. Should be pretty good. I looked for some black washers, but they didn't have anything. So yeah, we're doing these guys. And it shouldn't look too bad. And it'll hide all my crappy holes. I guess the smarter way to do this is take one out and then replace it so that way I don't lose where it goes. I'm going to put a little bit of plastic on this side because this, I don't want to scratch up the side of my sequential shifter. So, just going to cut out a little bit of this. So I went with Allen keys or Allen bolts on these and button heads. So that way, like especially up in here, I can just use my Allen wrench because it typically has like the 90-degree on it. And then I can at least still tighten it, even though, you know, there'll be something here. Because like before with the screwdriver, I can't come in and actually tighten this guy down very much. So in this configuration, I can. Well, let's get this bottom plate on. So I think I'm gonna wait to actually mount up some of this stuff until we're in there. As far as right here, I didn't realize this cutout was so much in the way. I don't know. That washer is just gonna go straight through there. I'm gonna look to see if I have a piece of metal real quick. So maybe what I'll do is we'll just drill a hole in this guy, and then this can kind of help that span. And yeah, that should do it. I'll chop off this. I know some of you watching are like, that's not how you use a file, but I do not care about this file. So I'll use it till it dies. All right, so we have our little bracket here that I just made, and this just can go on the back side really quick, and then we'll have the bolt coming through here with a washer and nut on that side. And I think with that, everything should be ready to go and mount up. All right, so now we just need to mount this up to here. I think the first step is going to be mounting this back up. Alright, so it's done. We finally have this bottom plate to mount everything to. We've got our two brackets in there. I made it pretty tight. You can see on this side, we've got our two bolts for the side of the Fanatec. They're all mounted up on the bottom all nice. We've got the wires kind of ran. Might zip tie that up later. And it is rock solid. We can still get to the sequential mode right here. We're back into H pattern, and then this is our dedicated handbrake. So I think that mount turned out pretty good. So now you just come over, have our shifter and our e-brake, and it should work out pretty good. So I think that'll do it for our current modifications. I mean, I think I'm getting the best, I'm getting a lot of use out of this Playseat challenge. I'm really excited to come try this. I'm gonna go configure it all and try to get ready for the race because I think practice is starting soon. Hopefully I can do well. We'll see. Should be pretty fun. All right, bye.